All right. Well, which camera am I looking at? Huh? Yep. Camera one. Hello. This is Arejay Hale from Halestorm. I'm standing in front of my Europe rig right here. So basically, everything on this kit is ours except for the bass drum and the toms. Those are rented, but we're in the process of shipping an entire drum kit over here. This one right now here is a Pearl Masters Maple. And I don't know what year it is, but it's definitely an older kit, and it sounds amazing. So we're actually kind of like totally cool with renting the shells over here because the drums are older, they're aged, they're seasoned, you know, they've been beat to hell, so they just sound amazing. So I've got Pearl Masters drums over here. In the States, I use a reference, but, you know, we're liking the Masters over here. It's pretty cool. I've got Zildjian cymbals, Vader drumsticks, Evans drum heads, LP percussion. I got a cowbell and some mini timbales, and I've got Pearl hardware as well. That's why we have these racks. These are actually ours. We shipped these over from the States. We built these, and they're just so nice and convenient. You don't have to worry about tripods fighting each other. Everything stays really sturdy. It's just been doing this. The low rack has been like the biggest godsend for my drum tech and I. We love it. Yeah, we built this ourselves along with our friends at Pearl. They helped us kind of put it together, and then we took it in their warehouse and we put it all together. Put all the pieces, assembled it, and then so basically this is a matching rig that we have in the States. It's like the exact, like almost identical. And so when we rent the shells, it's really easy just to get the same drum sizes. So we bring the snare, the hardware, the rocket toms, the percussion, and the cymbals, and then we just rent the shells. And if you look at my snare here, it's got this like disgusting, putrid, neon, Electric Daisy Carnival, Jolly Rancher green sparkle finish, and that matches my entire kit in the States. So we brought my snare drum over from the US. I did for a little bit, and you know the funny thing is my left foot sucks. That's why like a lot of people say like, oh, you must have been raised on metal drummers, and I really wasn't, you know, because I don't have a very good left foot. I tried for a long time to use two bass drums and to use a double pedal, but anytime I would like try to do double pedal fills, I would get my bandmates, like picture this is the audience, my bandmates are like this playing guitars, and then I would just get this look, just like. So that'd be basically, so then, you know, for some reason for me, I was raised on John Bonham, and you know, Dave Grohl, all these guys that are Travis Barker, all these guys who play single kick amazingly, and those were kind of my inspirations to get faster with my right foot, just the single pedal. So it actually sounds cleaner and it sounds better for everyone else when I just play a single. And I don't know, I like the challenge. It's more fun for me to try to gain speed with my one foot. So. My first drum company that I was sponsored by was Ludwig, and you know, growing up with John Bonham and being a massive Led Zeppelin fan, you know, as a kid, you know, that was like one of the things that made me want to play. So when I got sponsored by Ludwig, the first thing that I wanted to get was the exact John Bonham setup, the 14 by 26-inch kick, 14, 16, 18. You know, the Superphonic snare and all that, very simple setup, and I even a Speed King pedal, and I loved it. But unfortunately, at the time, Ludwig had a hard time providing drum kits for us across the world, so I had no choice but to move to a more global company. So I hit up. I was friends with the guys from Pearl, and it's funny. Ironically, here's a funny story. My artist rep from Ludwig, when I was leaving Ludwig and moving to Pearl, I sent him an email saying like, I'm so sorry, but I have to switch companies. And I didn't hear back from him until I signed up with Pearl. And then I got an email back saying, hey, I'm with Pearl too. You know? So we both kind of moved to Pearl. So it was like, oh boy, you know, so it was pretty cool, you know, but they've been so amazing. They took such good care of me. They offered me such a great deal. And they provide drums for like, after this tour, we're going to Australia and then Japan and Malaysia So we're going everywhere, and they have the ability to provide drums anywhere in the world. And other than that, also our sound guy used to work for a band called 10 Years who played Pearl. He really loved the sound of them. So he was also a big part of me, choosing to go with Pearl, because he was familiar with how they sounded, and they sound amazing. And they're such good quality. The hardware holds up really well. So we couldn't be happier with Pearl. They're just amazing. So when I switched over to Pearl, I was like, well, all bets are off. Let's see what else they got. And they got so much fun stuff. They got rocket toms. They got percussion. They got crazy, cool stuff and little side snares and stuff like that. So slowly but surely, between my drum tech and I, my drum kit has been growing like a monster. But it's I like having like weird, horrible sounds that just make people go, anything that can, any weird sound that can cut through the mix and annoy the hell out of my bandmates, I'm cool with. No, I did for a while. I had a Roland SPDX pad, just like everybody else, especially nowadays. And I loved it. I loved all the weird sounds I could get, but it didn't really work with the band. It didn't really work with the sound. I think that Halestorm is kind of a very raw, aggressive rock and roll band. Whereas like I love electronics. I'm like electronic music, pop music, hip hop. Like I love that stuff. Playing hip hop drums is like my favorite thing in the world. But it doesn't work with Halestorm. So we ditched that. And also, we're the kind of band, we don't use a click track, we don't use backtracks, and I think the reason for that is because we're so technologically illiterate. If we try to apply stuff like that to our show, guaranteed it would go wrong every single day. It would crash, something would go wrong. We already have enough problems with the raw gear that we use right now, so we like to keep it simple,